Hi, my name is Heather Sterling Minder, and I'm here at the Eugene Public Library Mayor's Art Show and 2022 Mayor's Art Show. And I have a piece that was accepted, so I'm here to talk about that and also a little bit about my background as an artist. So I this year entered a piece into the Mayor's Art Show and was very excited to be accepted along with many other very, very talented local artists. And I think this is maybe the first year that I submitted. I have submitted to several other shows, don't always get accepted. So that's just encouragement to others out there to keep trying. So the piece I entered in is untitled, but actually I did decide on a title that now I call Other Self. And the reason for that is you will see in the painting that there's a reflected image. So basically a repeated image. One is done experimentally with color, and the other is done in a traditional painting, underpainting method. So the other self sort of alludes to two different ways of painting and two different ways I sort of identify with myself, one being traditional and the other trying to break out of that in an artistic sort of way. And a little bit of a background on myself as an artist. I have always been drawing and painting since I was very, very young. At about age 10, I started experimenting with oil paints. A lot of you might be familiar with Bob Ross. I watched a lot of Bob Ross programs and would just try to paint based on his techniques and information that he was giving. And then also loved painting and drawing people from a very young age, and now my focus has really gone towards that. So I went to Humboldt State University for art, and I did 3 years of life drawing, so I was drawing the figure primarily, more than any of my other classes. I was also studying oil painting, metalsmithing, printmaking, so a lot of things that really were valuable in a well-rounded art education. And Humboldt also is a beautiful place if you've ever been there. So not only was I at this school studying with a lot of amazing teachers, I was in a really beautiful, inspiring place. And I had many, many friends people that I became friends with, and was able to draw and paint. Lots of people modeled for me. So it was really this amazing experience to be surrounded by so many amazing people that were willing to be a part of that artistic growth and inspiration that I was having. And to go into what I teach in a little bit more depth, and something I find really important for art education, is classical academic methods, especially when wanting to learn to draw or paint the figure. So growing up, I didn't ever really have any formal training. Even at Humboldt State, which was a great education, there wasn't much training as far as specific methods goes. So basically there was a lot of time spent drawing and painting, but there wasn't too much guidance. There was talk of materials and maybe some compositional things. But when it comes down to really learning to draw, that didn't come until much later, when I was at home after I had children. And I really started educating myself, not really educating myself, but researching and finding educators online or reading books that were providing this information of really classical techniques that are tried and true to be able to represent the figure and still life objects or landscapes. So whatever it may be, these techniques I feel are really valuable and I feel it's important that they don't get lost. And it isn't to say that you can't do beautiful art without those. It is possible, but there are many artists that we would assume did not have that training, but actually did, and then needed to deviate from that. Artists such as Picasso, I can't think of any others, but artists that maybe seemed like they were always, drawing freely, painting freely, yet they did have this sort of structured training. And I think Picasso might have given himself the training mostly, but nevertheless he was copying some of these master drawings to get these techniques, and then he was able to break away. So these techniques give you discipline. They help you recognize if you're making mistakes. They help you learn about value and proportion and things like that. So that's something that I really focus on in my teaching, in my classes. So another thing that I wanted to go into is kind of how I had a long hiatus from art and just recently got back into it. So I have 4 children, and my husband's 2 boys are 15, and his biological sons, and my son and daughter, my son is 15 and my daughter's 17. So we have 4 teenagers. So my life has been really, really occupied with that and being a mother. I was working for 4J, I've been an in-home caregiver, I've done a lot of jobs to make ends meet, and also that have allowed me to be in my children's life. But when the pandemic started, I had to be at home with my kids. I did not want them to be at home by themselves all day long. So I basically had to drop any other jobs I was doing, be at home with them, and that's how I got back into art. So the pandemic, in a way, and I think this happened for a lot of artists, sort of forced me into taking this leap back into art. And now it has become something that is actually working and financially contributing, and which is kind of a challenging part of it, because it's very, very busy, but it is busy doing what I love, so that's really, really a plus. And one of the things that I'm also doing within that is Saturday Market, and I am teaching classes at Emerald Art Center, and I show at New Zone Gallery, Emerald Art Center, and I think that's it right now. Sometimes there'll be other little venues that pop up, but with those things, it's very possible in this community to be an artist and for it to be financially making sense, which I really am happy to be here for that reason. Eugene has a lot of opportunities for artists, and it's very possible. Yeah, and getting back into it after a long break was really a dream come true, and something that a lot of artists are afraid to do, because it is a little bit scary to take that leap financially and give up what you were doing. So it can be possible. It just takes a lot of time and effort, and it has taken some time to get to this point. So just one last thing is a little bit more about the Mayor's Art Show, which will be here until September 15th. And if you can make it down to check it out, there's plenty of beautiful pieces here, and a wide variety: 3-dimensional works, 2-dimensional works, paintings, sculptures. There's also a large sculpture in the new riverfront area in Eugene, which is definitely worth seeing. And yeah, so be sure to come down to the library, and of course lots of books as well, in addition to the amazing art. So hopefully you'll get a chance to check out the Mayor's Art Show.